Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Mark Schultz with DigitalAircraft, and I'm here again at the AircraftIT in Miami, here America's 2022, and we're here for another great day of a lot of flurry of activity, and people are here. They've been seeing presentations, and we've been talking to vendors here in the room. Yesterday, I told you that there were over 50 different aviation IT vendors that were here, and the really cool thing is you can come here in a very short period of time. We can learn about what's happening in the industry and the presentations, and we can learn about the different technology and things that are here. And I wanted to introduce to you today somebody that I think you would find interesting. And what I do is I go around the room and I look for people that have interesting, concepts and businesses and technology, and I like to introduce them to you. So what I'd like to do today is I'd like to introduce you to a couple of gentlemen that I just met today, but I want you to see the technology that they're doing. And so can we just start out, Mark, by just telling people who you are and what do you do?
Yep. My name is Mark Thorson. I've got about 45 years experience in aviation. I started in the Navy when I was 17, spent 31 years with United Airlines, and I now work for Laminaar as a subject matter expert, if you will. I don't really like the term, but in aircraft maintenance, engineering, and quality.
He understands aircraft maintenance, so we got that. We figured that out. Yeah, great. And then we have Matthew here. Matthew, can you tell everybody who you are and what do you do?
Absolutely. My name is Matthew Shevley. I'm Vice President for Laminaar Americas, and I lead this highly qualified group here, headquartered in Denver, Colorado. I basically run the business side of the company.
Excellent. Now, I came by, and I'm going to be honest with all of you watching here today, is that I didn't know who Laminaar Aviation Infotech was. And so I had to ask them. And so I figured there's probably a number of you that may not know them or understand them. And so I wanted to just dig in a little bit deeper and understand a little bit more about the company. So first of all, Matthew, let me just go to you and say that you have a product which is called ARMS. Now, I don't want to start with that. What I want to do is I'm going to ask you, what kind of business challenges do you see people in the industry faced with today that might potentially be addressed by some of the things that you do? What are the challenges that you see out there today?
Data silos. I think one of the biggest challenges is that there are so many qualified vendors that have really unique solutions that are very helpful to airlines and any aviation operators. But the need for the unification of all that data that comes that's available to the airline and to be able to use that to make smart business decisions is probably the biggest challenge.
There's no question about that. I mean, I've been in the industry for a long time, and we definitely see that everybody has an existing IT portfolio, all right, and that we have data silos. And one of the challenges is in order for us to be able to create operational efficiency, whether it be in maintenance or in operations or anywhere, we have to be able to share that data and to be able to create efficiencies across there. So I totally agree with the idea that there's a lot of data silos that exist. Mark, what kind of challenges have you seen, that exist out there in the industry today?
Well, again, it's the data silos and it's the different systems talking to each other. But also, in today's day and age, you need to be able to mine that data, as Matthew said, to make smart business decisions. And what ARMS will do for you is we have a suite of modules that will run the entire airline, with the exception of customer service. It's available either as a single module or as a subset of all of the modules or all the modules. If you're a startup airline and want a one-stop shopping, you won't need to go anywhere else.
Okay, so I understand maybe that there's a couple of different classes of people that might be interested in talking to you. All right, let me break them down maybe into two, all right? Is that you just use the word startup airline, and we know that there's 850 or 900 airlines that exist worldwide out there today. And listen, everybody has an IT portfolio right now, all right? So there's like startups or there's like existing airlines that might exist, all right? Let's break up into two pieces. Let me go to you first, all right? And say, if we were a startup and we were looking at starting something, why would we want to consider something like ARMS over anything else that exists out there?
Well, it solves that problem out of the gate, that you can, for your consideration, for a startup airline's consideration, they can look at ARMS and basically have access to 16 subsystems that can be available for them to use and support their operations, all on a unified database. And from that, the customization aspects of the ARMS system allows them to pick and choose the various subsystems that they want to start with, even down to a module level of each of the subsystems. So we can really tailor something for a startup airline, keeping an eye on cash flow, making sure it's the most cost-efficient solution for them, and give them a blueprint that as the airline grows, the system will grow with them, and they can add things more in as they go along.
Okay, so we're at a pretty high level there right now, and so you said 16 subsystems. So we might be talking about all the different major components like commercials and and maintenance and network and
that's great. Everything from
all that
commercial
safety, quality,
commercial planning, flight operations, flight planning and dispatch, to crew management that you have, to safety, quality, and security, engineering maintenance, logistics and inventory management, document control, all the mobility solutions. It all comes under one platform.
That's quite comprehensive. How long has the company been around?
The company started in 1994.
Yeah. Okay.
And has had an aviation IT focus since about early 2000.
2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
So is your technology 22 years old?
The technology is
it's a trick question, right?
It's not 20-year-old, but the development and the maturity of the product has been developed over.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, there are companies out there that have 22-year-old technology to go with their 22-year-old company, but the reason I ask is I've seen some of your products and they look like they're pretty modern, in their look, right? But Mark, let me switch over to you for a minute. Is that so? That was one category, maybe a startup. Now, if we were somebody,
if I could tag onto that,
yeah, go ahead, please.
Bit.
Yeah,
so,
please.
Our workforce is 650 employees strong. 450 of those are software engineers who are constantly working on development, improvement, and customization. One of the things that we offer that most people in the room do not is that we can customize any solution to the airline's procedures so that the airline doesn't need to change its procedures to match our software.
Okay, all right, very good. That makes a big difference. Now, let me switch over to the other half of that, like I was going to talk about, is that if they're an existing airline that exists out there today, obviously we have an entire IT portfolio in place, and usually people have point challenges that exist throughout their operation. Now, if I had a problem in one particular area, how does ARMS maybe help satisfy that? You said it was modular, but what does that really mean?
So it is modular, but
okay.
Like I said, the customization aspect can help you solve the problem. So if the current IT platform can't do something, we've got 450 people who can work on it and make ARMS do whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay.
So that's one of the advantages. The other advantage is that a lot of airlines have homegrown solutions that they have to employ a large number of IT staff to try to keep up with the changing technology or the advancing technology. And so what we can help do is replace those legacy systems with the background support. So
okay. Yeah. Well, very good. Well, so main purpose for me bringing this company up and providing some visibility onto it is that I looked at it initially and it looked really interesting and looked like it had a really wide breadth of potential solutions. And whereas there might be a startup out there that needs to jump in and get a system to get them going and to get started, likely there are people watching that need specific point solutions or challenges that they want to solve. And I wanted to encourage you to stop by and take a look at the Laminaar Aviation Infotech booth and take a look at their ARMS product. And you can come and talk to the guys here. There's a number of people here, and just ask them about what they do and how they can maybe solve some of your problems. If you have reliability challenges, or if you have network challenges, or if you have maintenance challenges, or all those things that we really talked about right now. It sounds like you have modules that potentially can address that.
Yes,
so,
we do.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yep.
Let me just ask you this: is that why should someone come to talk to you over anybody else? I'm going to give you a chance first, and I'm going to go to you, Mark. Why should somebody come and talk to you over the other 49 people that are in this room?
Well, I certainly would say that we have such a comprehensive suite of solutions with a deep level of domain expertise that we certainly can provide a solution to help solve a problem. And I certainly would say that are we better than anybody else or not? I think we absolutely can be part of a qualification process and at least give consideration, because I think there's a specific solution needed for every person.
Yeah.
And I certainly would put us up there with that.
Excellent. Now, from a maintenance perspective, how would you answer that question? Why should somebody come and talk to you based on your years of maintenance experience?
Okay, so one of the things that ARMS does really well is report generation. So in the U.S. we have CAS reporting that needs to occur monthly between the operator and the regulator, and that for a large airline can take a head count of 5 people a month, and ARMS will generate the reports in your format in a matter of minutes. The other thing that ARMS does really well is compliance management, airworthiness directives in particular, the management process for ADs, is top notch, and then the marry that up with the logistics and inventory system, and where you've got the two systems that can talk to each other. They can manage configuration control, which is a huge problem in the industry. So,
and a lot more. So and they explained to me that they have a larger presence in the APAC region, and so maybe you haven't heard of them before because they have been focusing in areas that were outside of the U.S., but they're growing in their presence in the North American hemisphere over here. And so I would encourage you to take a look at them. I mean, I think as you're looking at different solutions that exist out there, stop by and take a look at ARMS and Laminaar Aviation Infotech. Gentlemen, thank you for having this conversation. I appreciate it. Those of you watching, I hope you found this interesting. I'm just trying to give people a little bit of insight on the things that are happening in the industry and how you can learn more about solving your problems in digital and aviation. You all know I'm passionate about digital aviation, and I want you to learn more about those things. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll be on a few more broadcasts today as we go forward. Bye for now.